Now, what are you guys using on yours? Like, what are you using on your laptop? Are you just on Ustream?
I just go, yeah. I get usually what my job is to make sure that it's showing up properly and all that on the other end. Nope, I do not want to do any updates right now. Thank you.
Episode number 66 of the Blue Wall Podcast.
You're not on right now.
Am I not on?
Yes, we're live. You're
Come
on.
on,
You're
man.
all on.
Can you hear me?
I told you I was coming back in. We're going live. I hear you.
Alright, cool.
You did it so you could get through a full...
Where's your mic? You don't even have your mic on. And I don't have you on camera.
My mic is the one that's turned on.
Is it on? Is it? Oh, here. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Oh!
Okay. You're good?
Yeah.
You finally got through a full intro without me interrupting. All you had to
Yes.
do was use subterfuge and trickiness. All right, let me get everything set up here.
I came in all stealth-like.
Yeah, what episode? 65?
66.
66. That's about amazing, I think.
Aaron Reckob's the guest tonight.
Yeah.
What was this fucking voice I was just using?
Maybe you were using your
Aaron Reckob's is our guest tonight on the Blue Wall Podcast.
you were using your
Aaron
radio
Reckob's, yeah.
voice.
What the fuck
This
is
ain't
that?
radio, man. This
What
is
is a radio voice, though?
it's that voice.
Why?
It's like.
Oh, shit, my...
I don't know.
It depends on what kind of radio, right? If you're the daytime DJ where you're like playing boing, boing, boing.
Now, do I have a radio voice or am I pretty normal?
No, you're
That's
normal.
super normal, man.
You're totally normal.
Pretty exciting.
Sunday.
Pretty exciting. We picked up another follower somehow between last week and this week. So we're up to 51. We're over the half centennial.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's an accomplishment. I find it as an accomplishment anyway.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't get anything to work as usual. So just see if we can't.
Let me... I'm gonna post this right now.
I did throw a little shout out if anyone was in the social stream to get things running.
What is it? What am I doing?
Wi-Fi. Do I know it?
Duke.
I wouldn't say it out loud right now.
I'll write it down. I'll write it down.
Here, wait. Duke. We're back.
We're back.
These guys got
Sorry, guys.
Nah, that's all right. Just technical stuff.
That's
that,
all right.
of
You
course,
brought a laptop. You're prepared.
Yeah.
stuff we should have surely worked out beforehand, then we didn't, as usual.
Well, I
so.
mean,
So-
kids rushed in and was like, all right, we're going live.
We're live.
Wow.
Hey, you were late.
I'm sorry.
And I said I was coming back and we're gonna go live. I had a baby shower today. I'm a little.
How
hyped
was
up.
that, man? How was the baby
It's
shower?
Amazing. My sister and stepmother put it together. It was.
They did a really good job, and it looked like you guys made out like some fat rats, man. You guys
Yeah.
did good.
Got some, yeah. It really meant a lot, man. I was blown away by the
People
the
like you,
support.
isn't that weird?
Yeah, I was blown away by that. I was like, wow, these people. There's a lot of my family, but
Yeah.
there's other people.
Hey,
too,
man,
but it
I
was
mean-
like-
Tony? Who's Tony? Your uncle?
My dad.
Tony's your dad? Okay.
Kim is my
Well,
uncle.
some people were calling him uncle, so
Uncle Tony.
it was probably Ken's kids then.
Yeah,
Who's
Kim.
calling?
K-I-M. Like-
He's cool, man.
Yeah, my dad was sitting at your table.
And that is, who was the lady with him? Was that your
Becky, that was
aunt?
nope, she's not family. I train her. She's my
That's
landlord.
what she said. Yeah. Okay. She said she gets private lessons because she's old.
Yeah. Yep.
You gotta get
She's
it in
funny,
somehow,
though.
right?
Yeah, man, she's funny though. We chit chatted and it was a good time.
Yeah, Becky.
Sound like a good time.
I
Baby
don't have
showers
a-
are usually pretty cool because you're bringing someone else into the life. So
I usually
Right.
am pretty good with people, and especially if they're cool people. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem talking to anybody, and my wife hates that, but shit, hey, what's up? My name's Deke. Let's talk about some stuff while we're killing time here. And
Yeah.
so your dad was cool. He's funny.
Oh, were they on here?
On where?
Like, were they on podcast?
No,
No.
It was the baby
Oh.
shower.
Baby shower.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm sorry, man. I just gotta try to find this real quick.
I'm trying to catch up with you guys, so
Being very
Apologize.
unobservant.
So,
It was a nice spread too. The food was perfect. I ate all vegetables and fruit. Super proud of myself.
but we had that option.
Yeah, you had it in case people didn't want to eat the heavy dips and the.
But it was all good. None of it was
No,
really too.
None of it was horrible.
That spinach dip was good.
yeah. Spinach dip is normal.
Yeah. And if you get hungry, I brought some chicken salad or ham
Oh,
salad
nice, dude.
croissant sandwiches.
I might have to smash some of that.
And we have beverages
There's
in
all
the
kinds of
refrigerators
stuff out there. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Only the best for the blue wall.
Yeah.
Guests, which. Yeah, we probably do. We want to make an announcement that Aaron might be filling in for
If
now
you
on,
guys want
or
to.
do you want to wait and make an
Uh,
official episode all about it?
I'll believe it when I see it because how many times have we heard that?
Hey,
Ooh.
Yeah,
Hey.
I'm not saying anything bad, but Hardline makes a.
That's,
But-
that's a good point. That's a good point.
It is a good point, but also in his defense, I said that about him at the gym, and he's been proving me wrong
Oh,
lately.
okay. So
Not proving me wrong.
As long
I
as
was
you're-
right. I was correct. Right? You know I was right. But he's been showing some dedication
Yeah.
and improving. You know, I mean, that's gonna you're only gonna improve from that.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
I'm
mean-
ready to just get to some tournaments and start repping.
It goes to show. Yeah, dude. I'm definitely ready for that. That's gonna be fun. I was kind of like upset that it wasn't on the 29th of this month.
Yeah.
Because I was so pumped for that, but it's alright.
you gonna start off with straight grappling tournaments?
Yeah.
You ever think you'll hit the cage?
Oh, I
sometime?
want to. I want
Yeah.
to. That's the
Yeah,
main
you just
goal
go,
here.
hey.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with taking it slow, man.
No.
That's why we have the ranking system, so that people don't rush into things for one, and it just shows them, it shows them that where they need to improve and
Yeah.
stuff.
Are you gonna let kids help you pick your first fight?
I've never had a first fight, so I don't really know how the whole process goes. So.
Well, I think you're pretty good about judging like
What?
who a person should be. You want someone
Yeah.
challenging, but not. You don't want to be in there with somebody who's crazy good. They're like 6-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I fought Adam down in Portsmouth, and I was like, I felt bad because I was like, man, it was this kid's first fight. It was like my 10th fight.
Yeah.
I didn't have a great record. I think my record was like 4-6 at that time. So, it wasn't great. But still, 10 fights, that's a lot of
Shit.
experience.
Coffee all over my
Oh,
notepad.
man. Jeez.
Jesus.
Where's them tissues at? Here.
So how was your first fight? How'd you?
I lost to a guy named Jeremy Keys. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
He was older, but he hadn't had that much experience. And he basically he was a lot stronger than me, so he just kind of like worked me around. He never got me in anywhere where I felt like, oh, I'm about ready to tap out or he's about ready to knock me out. Nothing like that ever happened. He just basically contained me the whole time, and I couldn't do anything. And it's a very boring fight to watch
Sorry. Turn your camera to the left a little bit.
It was. I'm
There
sure
you
it was
go.
very boring for my family and people who came to watch because basically he just dominated me for 3 rounds and
Just dry humped you.
that's basically what happened. Not an exciting fight, but hey, if I don't like to be dry humped, I'm gonna try harder to get out of it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right,
That's
yeah.
how I hate when people are like, oh, he just laid on. If you don't like to be laid on for 5 rounds or 3 rounds, you need to do better.
Right, and that's what sucks about the sport is you can lay on somebody and win.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
If it
you need
comes
to
down
judge
to-
the point. You need to.
Or you
point
should have been
system.
throwing heels or something like heel straight. But yeah, it is the points.
That's before I learned any dirty boxing either.
Is it still you have to have 5 amateur fights before you have a pro fight?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, with a
Okay.
winning record.
Even then, I think they could still stop you if they wanted to.
Yeah,
if they had
they
a
could do
reason
whatever
to
the hell
think,
they want.
yeah, we gotta stop this guy from.
Kicking ass.
Yeah.
You know he's gonna be a beast. Can't let him go do that.
Yeah, I'm.
But
all
I fought
aboard.
Adam, and I knocked him out, and I was like, man, I felt bad because I was like, man, I shouldn't have been fighting that kid. Man.
Yeah.
That was his.
I was in
that's
his-
his promoter's fault. He
I think
should-
I was in
Yeah,
his
that's
corner.
true.
You were, because
But
you
I
were
had-
still down in Portsmouth.
Yeah, and here's what happened. My girlfriend cut at the time, cut his hair.
Oh
and,
man.
And she's like, he found out through her, whatever, her boyfriend's a fighter, and was wondering, like, if I could help out or something, any extra help he could get. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I was the 2005 Portsmouth Tough Man champion.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Local
Yeah.
celebrity,
Yeah,
Portsmouth
it's like,
superstar,
people
everybody.
like
They
begging
know
to
about
train
me in
with
Kentucky,
me.
that's for sure.
People begging to train with me at the time, I was like, I had to make a line, I'm like, get in your place. But I decided to help this kid out, and he wanted to work with some stand-up. He wanted more stand-up work because he didn't feel like he was getting it. Now I feel like shit because he got knocked out. But here's the thing.
No, he should.
It was like a week before the fight, and I was like, okay, yeah, like, I'll help you. Like,
yeah.
just try to learn how to throw a right hand properly.
Chainsaw
But it's...
McGraw. They came up and trained with us for a little bit.
yeah, his brother Scott. But they're actually who brought me up.
Oh,
We may never know each other if it wasn't for them.
Okay, see, isn't that crazy how that works? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I talked to him afterwards, and
He was a good kid, but yeah, he shouldn't have been fighting you.
he
And
shouldn't have been.
they-
His first fight, he should have been fighting somebody with 3 or less fights.
What
you
class
know
were
what I
you
mean?
in?
That's
What class?
170.
170. Yeah,
It was
I
in Kentucky
super-
though, and they didn't have an athletic commission at the time. I don't think.
Was it in Kentucky? I think
Was
it was
it? Was
Portsmouth.
it?
No. He's from Portsmouth, but
Oh,
it was
you're right.
in,
It was in that big hotel,
Florence. Yeah.
It was in Florence, and I fought
Yeah, 'cause
again
I
in
got-
Florence at the racetrack.
I got really drunk at the hotel bar that night, and tried to
First
pick
time
up
that's
the
ever happened.
try to
Yeah.
pick up the waitress who was like at the little breakfast place with her.
It happens, man.
hilarious.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
This guy.
It's like,
That's
yo,
cool,
yo,
though.
I got a room up here.
How was the jitters and stuff like when you first went in?
It never happened again after that first fight. I tried to do that pump myself up thing,
Yeah.
and I felt like I expelled a lot of my energy
Yeah.
before I needed to. Really,
Cool.
and I really had a long talk with myself afterwards. Like, you shouldn't need to be getting yourself pumped up if you know what you're there to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Why would you need to why would you even want to do that?
Yeah.
If you want to be calm and whenever you don't have adrenaline pumping through you, think more clear. Things are more clear. So after that, I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go fight, whatever. And it wasn't even all that exciting of a fight. But every time after that, I sleep up until like the last minute that I can. I probably will always have a fear of maybe shitting my pants or pissing my pants in the ring. So I'm like, whenever it's like 20 minutes till or like 3 fighters are ahead of me, I'm like, fucking go to the bathroom. Come
Yeah.
on, anything that's coming out, come out now.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, now I'm ready. And I get a little nervous walking down, but I swear to God, as soon as they're like, it's on, focus. You know what I mean? That's all it is, man. It's a
Cool.
great feeling.
The closer you get, the
This is what I say. The universe, you're in the universe, and then all of a sudden you're just in this cage with this dude, and that's the only thing that life is about.
that's the only thing that matters
That's the
anymore.
only thing that matters.
What about you? What about you?
My first time, it was tight. No.
I have my chain. He had his big fucking rampage chain.
Yeah, I have
like,
my
what's up?
Got my rampage chain. Yeah, I feel like it took me a while to find myself. I was trying to be something else, like with the rampage chain.
Yeah, I bet
Although
if you-
I was a fan
listen.
and I was just proud to be a
I
rampage
got you.
fan, and I don't think a lot of people knew who it was at
I
the
bet
time.
if you go back and look at some old tapes that we were filming down there, because we filmed everything we ever went to, we filmed all the fighters. I bet you got some of us in the background like, what is this? What's this douchebag doing with this chain? Oh my gosh. But anyway, go ahead.
So, yeah, I had this rampage chain or whatever. Me and James were debating on who got to be rampage. We were like, no, I'm getting the fucking rampage chain, dude. I'm doing it. And he was like, man, it looks good on me. We're in the hotel room before the night before.
Nice,
With the
nice.
lows
Like,
up
I
on
don't
the
know,
ring,
man. Look at this. I'm just looking in the mirror and I'm just saying.
I
it
think I look
fits.
really good in this
It
chain.
fits.
Yeah, so I go in, I'm fighting this guy from this college, Cumberland College wrestling team or something. They
Yeah.
had some real tough fighters. and I just didn't know what the hell I'm getting into. I know I've been watching it and training and doing. I like it. Like go in there, and when it's like shut in there, then it's just like I didn't even go in before. I didn't have a coach good enough to tell me to go in there and like at least feel
Walk around,
yeah,
feel the
get
floor.
used to it.
Yeah.
Never been in there. I go in there. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is it, and I'm in here. This is me doing
yeah, like,
this.
oh
Like,
shit.
and we're doing it, and then like, I pretty much won the first round. The first round ended. I was in mount,
Nice.
just ground and pound and mount,
Yeah.
and then second round, we're going, and he was a wrestler, so he was trying to take me down, had me against the fence, and I remember like I felt his head right here, and he was like pushing me against the fence, and I was like.
Wait a minute.
It was like almost like it wasn't real. I was like, is this real? Is he giving this to him? What is this going on? And I was like, yeah. And I just fell, like with it.
Yeah.
Tapped him out in a guillotine. And I was like almost like, is this easy? It wasn't an easy win.
Yeah.
Like I was tired.
You figured
and
it'd be
stuff,
tougher than what it felt.
but
towards
just
you.
sometimes you don't think that winning can be that easy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
Like, sometimes it's like, oh my god, I beat that badass dude. You gotta shut that shit off.
Yeah.
Read the fucking sign.
Sorry.
There's no cell phone stuff. Like you beat a tough guy or something, and you just, it's almost like it's real. Did that really happen, or can it be that like
Yeah.
it's happening right now, choking this guy, or
Kind of like you put a higher expectation of toughness to it from yourself.
right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good though. Always to
Yeah.
get a win easier than you thought, than go in there not prepared. You know what I
And
mean?
that's
Yeah.
always what happens if you're not prepared. You're gonna it's gonna be
yeah.
a fight.
Did you guys get to watch any fights last night? I fell asleep.
No,
Last night.
It was
was
on
that
Fight Night.
McGregor?
Damian McGregor.
No.
Damn.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Maya.
next month, right?
It was
It was a
Colin
free-
McGregor fights next month.
that's the
It's
next
Conor McGregor. Get your
Connor,
Irish names
Connor.
right.
What did I say?
Uh,
Colin.
Colin.
Pepe. I watched that fight.
Was this a free
Oh
one?
shit, that was loud. Sorry.
Yeah,
guys.
What's Pepe's whole name?
I don't know who Pepe is.
Ah man, I watched that fight though. He won. By,
Oh man.
Man, I'm sorry. What's going on?
You guys are.
Oh man, everything
It's
you
this
do,
table.
it's like
It's this
echoing,
table.
man.
Let's fix this. You guys
Jeez Louise.
continue.
Uh,
I'll get you guys on.
so anyway, was it this a free one
Yeah,
on Fox,
why
right?
not?
Or was
Yeah,
this,
Fox
okay,
Sports. Yeah. It had whoever the girls were. One girl was a beast. I didn't get to watch like too much of it. I just watched some of it today from recording DVR because DVR is cool. You know?
I was impressed with that last card that we seen that had.
You can't keep jumping way out of your camera over there, dude.
Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, stay on this side of your mic.
Alright.
You're good.
Come on, Rook.
Sorry,
Jeez.
guys. Sorry.
Damn.
There was a lot of good Damian Maya. No.
Yeah, that was about it. That's all
That-
I knew.
It was the LaFleur.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gucci LaFleur. That's what that reminds me of. Reminds me of Gucci Mane.
That last UFC, they had all the Gooch strikes on it.
Oh, yeah,
You've
dude.
seen it, right?
Yeah.
It was like everybody kneeing in the
Big
Gooch.
Country took a solid
Oh,
knee
that's-
from over him. That's
Big Country.
tough.
Yeah, Big Country got his ass kicked, but Big Country
He
took some
can't-
shots.
Yeah, he
I
took some
didn't
shots,
think
man.
he was going to be able to take him because he got knocked out in his last fight. I was like,
Well, I tell you, to prove how he threw that left at the, the last, minute of the last round and put him on his ass, that's impressive after getting,
he got
some handled.
knees, though.
He ate some knees, he ate everything. Leg kick, he got kicked in the head, man, and just was like, ugh.
Oh,
Big
dude.
Country, I don't get knocked out like that.
He wasn't going down.
Totally.
He should have took advantage of the times he had in between. When he'd rock him once, he would just back up and let him, recover.
He doesn't have a bad fight though, man. Even
No.
when he loses, that was a great fight. I thought.
Oh,
it
that
showed
was-
a lot
that
of
was-
heart on his
yeah.
part, and
That was a full standing match too. No,
pretty
they went
much,
down a couple
pretty
times.
much. Overeem took him down a couple times. He tried. I thought he kept trying to go for the shoot too much, too late. He didn't have any strength. Maybe he was just getting desperate because he thought.
What-
well,
What do you think about that? The fight staying standing more, like?
that's what the fans.
Do you
like.
think? Yeah, it's crowd pressure. You
I
think?
Well, I think more than the fighters, the refs get the crowd pressure. As soon as the boo birds come out, like a dude could be trying to make go for he's trying to work his way through to get to.
Well, I mean, you can have an explosive ground game, and it can look. I mean,
people don't want to see a chess match, and that's what a ground game is. It's a chess match. You're trying to get position until you can snap something on real quick.
Unless you're explosive and you just automatically snap in, like what I was gonna bring up. It was Guido Fredo. Pepe submit Andre Philly.
Philo?
Or it just says
No.
Fili.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
But he gave him a stand. He did a flying triangle, like
Damn.
Philly had Pepe against the fence, and then Pepe grabbed his arm and tucked it up under his leg, and then hopped up and put him in a triangle as he was standing, and then he just slid down, and the rest of the match went for like probably 2 minutes, and then he went out on a tap out on armbar.
Okay, so the triangle didn't work, but he used it to work himself into the armbar. Is that how it went?
I do believe. Yeah.
Excuse me.
But it was gnarly. Ground games like that's fun to watch, because
Right, but a lot of people don't know the ground game.
that's true.
And that's where they're just some exciting shit like that's happening, and they're just like, "What the fuck are they
They're like,
doing?"
well, they get used to that stuff too, and they're like, "Wow, man, this guy didn't even do a flying triangle."
Yeah,
You know,
right,
like,
yeah.
man, that's like.
Why doesn't he just do the flying?
Triangle.
Yeah, the flying go-go plata.
Yeah.
Like, what is he waiting for? Like,
That's
yeah,
good
it's stuff like
It-
that.
I guess it's all depending on what you know about the sport.
And that's true, and
You like boxing, you only like to see knockouts unless you're into boxing, and
I never even got it. I could never. I can't watch a boxing match now because I'm always thinking, why don't you kick that dude? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you kick him?
I mean, what do you watch rugby?
Yeah, I like rugby.
Ah, never mind. I was gonna say because you probably watch football.
Well, I do watch football just because rugby's not really accessible. You got to get online and find it. But Greg, who came the one time and never came back.
One of those
dirtbag.
guys that said he was going to be
Yeah.
the technician,
Dirtbag.
the producer.
He's into rugby, so he gets a lot. Super confusing. I think I've got about half of the rules down.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I think it's a lot safer than football.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
have
yeah.
no
Yeah.
pads, so they can't do these high impact running collisions that they do.
They still do
Right.
though,
Occasionally, but they're never as bad. You'll see people cut, you'll see big gashes,
Yeah.
but you don't have the head injuries. You know what I mean? You don't have
Here's the thing.
concussions.
Yeah, they're not in this big shielded thing. So even if they are hitting hard, they're not hitting like
They're not
head
out there-
first
exactly.
and
They're not
doing the
smashing
technique.
heads
Like,
together unless it's literally an accident, and you do not have the same type of lasting injuries in rugby, just like boxing. I don't think you'll see once MMA gets a little older, you're not gonna have the same type of mental illness with MMA as you do in boxing, because boxing is
Boxing is you get knocked down, you get 10 seconds to
Yeah.
recover.
10 seconds.
oh, it might not have been Luke, man.
Yeah.
Make sure that you
Or
push
maybe
it in
Luke
there
just left
tight.
it messed up.
Maybe he did. Push it in there tight, man. I don't know. Is it backwards, maybe, do you think? Luke was fucking with it last week, and is the cord too tight, pulling it? Not giving it enough slack?
Boxing is like 12 rounds of getting your head hit.
Got it.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It's a ghost in here.
Yeah, punching from the waist up, and that's it. And you get those 8 counts or 10
Yeah,
seconds to get
yeah.
back up.
Boxing is a great sport. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate boxing. If it weren't for boxing, a lot of UFC would be kind of hard to get to. Probably it wouldn't have got to like that though.
I think wrestling has been more dominant in the UFC than boxing. I gotta be honest with you. I think people transition easier from being a wrestler to MMA.
Athletic wise, but I'm talking about spectator wise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a ready-made
Yeah.
audience for the sport. That's true.
That's an odd comparison there. Like wrestling does better, but there's not as many fans. Boxing
Wrestling
isn't.
fans don't
A wrestler would definitely beat a boxer,
Yeah.
most likely.
Well,
The majority,
did you say
percentage
beats?
wise. You can put a lot of factors, but we're gonna just say straight. A wrestler versus a boxer. I think the wrestler would take him down, and that would be it.
Because that's the
It's
scoring.
Talk about
just-
an octagon.
That's the scoring.
Yeah,
Okay,
just like like style versus
Cool.
style type of
Okay,
thing.
cool.
So, But look at the boxer; they got all the fans. It's more exciting because
that's where
people
the money's
understand what a punch is and what it does, and they don't understand what it takes to grapple
I
a
say that's
person.
where the money's at, but if you're a big star in boxing, that's where the money's at. I'd say 98% of boxers don't make dick.
I could go-
There's, like the top 2% are making like Mayweather's making like $50 million.
Yeah.
He does
Dude.
all his own promotion. He gets a cut of the pay-per-view.
They pay a person to start out $100 a round for 4-round fights. It's a 4-round fight. It's the lowest you go. $100 a round guaranteed.
Really?
Like that's what they pay. They don't have like MMA. I don't know why, and I don't understand it. Like you get paid this, and then this. If you win, you get paid double. Like double. Like that seems like where the fuck is this double? Why does one person make double if they win? I mean, that's the
Because they
incentive
win.
to win.
Yeah, it's 'cause
Well, I
they
mean, you
win.
get paid to lose in boxing. you
This
know?
ain't
You get
communism.
paid
paid
regardless
to
what you
lose,
get
but you
paid
pay
in
for
MMA,
showing
but
up,
they
you
usually
know?
pay you double to win.
Listen, this is not communism where we share everything equally, kids.
Boxing,
Oh,
no.
foul.
Boxing, you go into a
One.
fight, you know what you're gonna make, and you're guaranteed, and that's it. Like you get that price. Yeah, that win bonus is nice, but they just figure that in. I guess they pay you $100 a round to start out. Anybody almost.
Boxing, they got 12 rounds.
Well, if you go
Well, they
12
said
rounds,
four-
you're
they
gonna.
said a minimum 4, right?
Well, a minimum of 4, but you could do 6 or 8 or 10 or
That's
you know.
awesome. Like that's
And I don't know. It may be more now, but
you know
it's,
who would have a pretty good insight on this? Kaplinger would probably know a little bit more about this.
oh for sure.
Yeah.
Since he does it.
Yeah.
if you yeah he
I mean,
wouldn't
I
he
do
wouldn't
talk
come here.
box.
He wouldn't talk to us. He wouldn't talk to me.
Oh,
It's
okay.
all right though. It's
There's
okay.
there's an issue there.
All right, never mind.
yeah.
Moving on.
Trying to get past this now. But I don't know.
Let me get a drink on
But
that
we could talk about it in a cage.
There we go.
Yeah. Now would I don't know. What's MMA about? Like what's it about with like when you first turn pro? Like how's that all work out? Is it typically like you just because I know when you're an amateur you show up and you don't win anything besides really just a belt or something, right?
If you win anything, you just
Yeah.
win
Yeah.
a number,
Yeah.
a number on your record for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah. So and then like pro boxing or pro MMA, it'd be like
You get paid.
yeah. So
To
do you
fight.
get paid per round or you just get paid?
Nope, it's not like boxing. It's
That's what I
that's
was
what's
trying to get
weird.
at.
So like if you got stopped in the second round in boxing, I think you still get paid though
However many
the 4 rounds.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool.
MMA you get paid the same amount as well, but you get paid double to win is what's crazy.
What?
Well, generally for 3-round fight, what are they going to give you if you're pro and you don't have a name?
Oh,
you're just-
it's gonna be like 250 to 300 to fight.
yeah.
That's not bad.
You gotta
My
pay
first
your-
fight I made
Do you
350
think that's all right? Do you feel like you got to pay?
and got
your
my
dues
ass
first?
kicked. What?
Do you feel you think that's all right? Do you feel like you should have
Well,
to pay your dues? before
That's
you-
$100 a round though.
Yeah.
If it was 300,
Yeah.
I mean I guess that's still not that bad.
But
a
I mean,
lot-
that's not that bad.
But
So,
here's
say I've got I've got 7 wins and 2 losses. Am I going to be getting paid the same, or by that time I've got some experience?
no, yeah, you're gonna be
We're talking maybe $600.
yeah maybe. But here's my thing. I now like at first I had to do it, but I won't fight for $300 now.
Yeah.
I will not do it because as soon as you sign a contract, you're out $300.
Why?
You got $100 for blood work. You got licensing that
They
are gonna
don't
be
take
like
care of
$50. No, you got to pay
Can
for
you
that
somehow
blood work.
it into the contract,
You got to
or
get eye exams or a physical.
Do they give you a
you-
contract to sign?
Yeah.
Can you make amendments to it and sign it and give it back to them?
Oh, like they might. Yeah, maybe.
That's what I would do. I would just be like, okay.
You just
I'll take
negotiate
the
it in, be like, yeah,
$300,
you pay
but,
for my-
You're gonna have to pay for the blood work and what else was it? Like,
Or
if you're out of different state, you got to get licensed in that state. Is that?
yeah, you got to
Yeah.
do things like that. You got to pay for that usually.
Yeah,
But
I
you
would-
could try to negotiate it in. Hotel always and travel. You want to try to
Did
negotiate
you-
that in.
Listen, speaking of contracts, totally off subject of MMA, but I think I feel like it was somewhere like Northwest Montana, somewhere like that, Wyoming. North or South Dakota. But the guy got his papers from the bank for like a home loan, and he was just like went back through, made everything look the same except for he added his own shit, and one of them was 0 interest and make payments whenever you want. And he signed it and sent it back, and they signed it, and they took him to court, and the judge was like, "You gotta watch. You gotta read what you signed, man.
Yeah.
You signed a contract. That was in the contract. You got it. So
He never really has to pay it.
never, if he wants to. I think he was paying it back. He's like, "Yeah, I'll pay it back, but it's gonna be on my own time and my own terms." And he won. That's like a
clever.
big victory for the little man.
Yeah,
That's why I was like,
fucking-
"Oh, that's awesome."
Did anybody see where Mitt Romney is gonna fight Evander Holyfield?
I did see something about
What?
that for charity.
Yeah.
Is this real?
Yes.
No.
Listen.
Yes.
You can say what you want about Mitt Romney, but he's not a horrible guy. I don't think he would have made a good president, but he's not a bad guy. They do a lot of charity work. He donates a lot of money. It may just be for tax returns or whatever it is for, but he's not a horrible person like the media made him out to be. So,
Really?
yes.
Says
I know he's super rich, but he's got a huge family he takes care of. He's adopted children. He's very charitable. I read
That's
up
what
on
it
him. He
takes.
was running
That's
for
what it takes to
president.
be on Chubb's top 10 Forbes list.
He's not my top 10. I don't think he would have made a good president, but I hate when they vilify people, and there's really no reason to be vilified. You know what I mean?
There's a good things though.
They could have
There's
just
good
said,
traits about people.
he's not a good. He wouldn't make a good president. He's not business wise. He'd probably been great. He could have put us probably back in the black, but foreign affairs. There's a lot of shit that goes into the presidency. And he wouldn't have been good at foreign affairs and these other issues that are going on right now, especially right now. I'm sure he would have probably just been quick to the war, things of that nature. Because when you don't know, you want the people behind you, and the easiest way to do that is to say you're going to war with somebody.
I just wanted to say real quick to the viewers, if you want to chime in on the comments over there, make sure that you've started an account for free. Put in your email, and then that way you can make comments live and tell Chubbs how full of shit he is.
Hey, guess I'm not promoting another podcast, but I was listening to some Joe Rogan Experience. That dude talks out his ass all day long, man. I do not feel bad at all.
You don't think it's like legit? What he like a lot of what he says?
Oh, he was talking about like not having surgery on your lower back, just doing yoga, and he's like, "Oh man,
He did that.
Yeah, I know. For him, it worked, but that's not true with everybody. Some people have major issues.
Well, I mean, you have to
At least try it first, though.
I agree with that, but like Greg, he was not going to be able to try. He had 2 discs that were sitting directly on each other. You can't stretch that out and get that pulp back. It's done for at this point. And when those nerves pinch, you're down. You can't. Those nerves get pinched, you're gonna hit the ground. That's just all there is to it.
Did he ever try and do like some like really conditioned like stretching and stuff beforehand?
Here's the problem.
Before it got so bad,
Before it got this bad, maybe that would have worked.
Yeah.
But at this point, at the point he was at, whenever this is what would happen. If you don't have any pulp, you might be fine. So you stretch, and then your nerve slides under that disc, and you come back, and now you're fucked. You know what I mean? You could actually put yourself in a worse position by stretching. But if you catch it early, but who does proper maintenance on themselves? If everybody would be I'd be booked every day because people would be coming in and getting massages because that's good general maintenance on your body. It's good for your circulation. It's good for getting toxins out of your body. It's besides exercise, it's the second best thing for your muscles. You know what I mean? But people don't do that. They don't maintain their bodies like it's they should because that's the only one they have. They're not making any more.
People do that. It's not.
But
in some areas, it's not like entwined with the culture of the.
Yeah, it's not. It's
town,
definitely not in
or,
Western culture anyway, because we're like medicine and doctors. We don't want to try holistic stuff. But anyway, he was talking about sciatica, and he's like, all it is where your bones are pinching on the nerve. Like, there's several different kinds of sciatica. It could be 100% muscle related. Your your nerve could be growing. Some people who their nerve grows straight through the piriformis muscle.
Do you have Twitter, Chubbs?
He doesn't answer that shit, man.
No, he's not gonna answer you because he's getting that from everybody. He doesn't give a
He
shit.
doesn't have time for that. He's worried about his next podcast.
But it can be from bone.
Maybe what he was getting at is if you
definitely-
start yoga now, you may not have them problems. In the future.
That's true, but he didn't explain it like that, and he's giving people the wrong idea.
Okay, well, to not promote Joe Rogan's podcast, I will purposely promote another podcast in the future, making possibly I don't know what it's going to be called, but it's at Kama, and we're going to have possibly a pre-training. It's always better after training though, but it's I don't know. I don't want to be there too late.
Yeah,
but we want to have a podcast of just like, we always sit around and talk about training and this and that.
Yeah.
And try to have like some kind of little
I say make as many podcasts as you can, man, for posterity's sake.
Just
so any idea you have, just do it and make a podcast about it. Because chances are, at some point in the future, somebody would want it. Maybe even if it's just one or two people 100 years from now, they're gonna go back and see that and take some information from it, or
right,
just
sharing information. Yeah, or will be entertainment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that'd be good. Like we can talk about, the techniques and just like philosophies behind it, and it just you never know what we end up talking about.
Philosophies behind the techniques.
Yeah.
Oh God, this should be good.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's philosophy to martial arts, though. But you know how it is. After training, you're sitting around and you bullshit. It might not even be about MMA, but a lot of times you do. That's the best time when your brain's all fired up and like blood's pumping.
Like the old,
he's a fucking dream slayer. He's already trying to slay it. That's what he's going at.
He was a dream slayer last
That's what he's doing. He's trying to slay it.
What did I say? I say do it though. No matter what I say,
but then he's gonna just tell me how it's gonna suck.
How sucky it is whenever. But anyway,
hey man,
I love
criticism, right?
Speaking of like philosophies behind martial arts, I love watching like not Japanese movie, like the Chinese older movies about the different kinds of kung fu, like Shaolin kung fu and wushu from northern China, and it's so crazy how they lived over there, man. It's just I don't know. In those movies might
I'm a
be
big
totally
fan of kung
fake
fu,
too,
for sure.
But Ip Man.
Ip Man.
You ever watch any of his?
Grandmaster.
Well, there's several movies about him.
About Ip Man?
I think Aaron was trying to pull some Wing Chun shit out in the gym the other day and shadow sparring.
Did he hit you with the crane?
No, it was I just observed
I shattered
it.
my shoulder. That's what I did.
He was like,
yeah. Oh, that's fun.
I made myself a Wing Chun dummy.
Yeah.
One time out of a telephone pole and I drilled holes. It's that
you
wooden dummy. Yeah, it's like, cha. Yeah.
What is the purpose of that? Just to get your hand moving?
I'll tell you what it did for me is it tightened up my punches and made me throw like straighter punches and like some cool hand speed. I thought I felt like that it helped.
Heck yeah, dude.
It was fun as hell. I couldn't afford to buy one, so I made one.
If you just get if you cut down a tree, you can make one.
I was gonna make one out of like a.
Spin?
No, it doesn't.
I always
spin.
remember the one from the Bruce Lee movie, and his would spin.
And he hit real hard and it'd spin around.
Yeah, I remember it from that movie.
Hey, Bruce Lee. If anything, if
from that movie.
What? I don't get it. Why do you keep saying that?
But if
hold on a second. Why do you keep?
It was a
saying
movie. They don't make him like that. That was just some made up shit.
You know they make them like that. They make them like that.
Let's just start making them anyways.
I wanted to make one out of like a PVC drainage pipe that is that big, and then maybe use wood through there, but it would be lighter.
Yeah.
It'd be too light, wouldn't it?
No, it's like Schedule 4. That shit's for drains. Like it's this
big.
big.
Are you gonna have it mounted permanently somewhere?
They mount to a stand or like these.
Yeah, he's talking about putting one vertically and then having wood planks come out the sides as arms and things. That way you don't shatter the plastic.
It would go over top of a base or something?
It'll have a platform.
Heavy? Okay, yeah. I guess that's.
You have a square platform with a.
With a coupling, and it'll interlock down into the coupling.
Actually, you could probably put one on one of these seats, take the seat off.
Yeah, we'll just roll it around like everywhere you go.
Next.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down to do that. That'd be fun.
It might be where I got my back fist from that I use.
Yeah.
Off that dummy. Bam. There was a move like that. But it's really cool. Like, Wing Chun's pretty cool.
Wing Chun?
Wing Chun's pretty cool.
Sounds like the guy from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes.
Come on,
Me,
Wang!
Jack Burton.
My name's Jack Bird, and all I want is my truck.
That good movie.
Have you not seen
Not
it?
seen
Never
Big
seen
Trouble in Little China?
Oh my
Write that
god,
shit down,
dude,
man.
that's a
That's
classic.
I have it on my list on Netflix.
You
so-
need to watch it.
All right.
It's classic. Of course,
Imagine-
by now it's gonna be generic as shit, but it's funny
Yeah,
and
that's
Have
it's
you
why I
ever
haven't
seen
really-
Classic.
Escape from New York? Or Escape from
L.A. Yeah,
There's one of each.
yeah, but L.A. was better.
Oh man, basically it's a
Kurt
really,
Russell?
It's a really cool Kurt Russell.
How about Overboard?
Yeah, I've
That's
seen that.
that's my
Goldie
favorite
Hawn.
movie,
That's
dude.
just so
Sorry,
funny.
guys.
One of my favorites.
Gosh,
Overboard's
man. When were
like
you
a
born?
romantic
89.
drama.
Ah, see, that's his problem. He was born after all
It
these.
was right in that time. They were
Yeah,
coming
those were all
out.
80s
They were a little bit
movies, man.
before.
You're talking like 85.
I saw Star Wars and it came out before I was
Yeah,
born.
yeah, that's true, man. There's
Yeah.
no excuse.
Sorry.
I was
Not-
born in
Not-
'70s.
Not
Gotta
today's
make you a
world.
list,
There's
man.
no excuse today. You know, it's
Big Trouble in
2015.
Little China is hilarious. It's where they got Raiden. They blatantly
Yeah.
stole
Really?
the
That's
character.
where
Yes.
they stole that character?
Oh, you watch the movie,
Yo-
you're
yo.
like, oh man,
Really?
they just
Okay.
straight up stole him, like no question.
Right out of that movie.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna watch this and be like,
Rated
I've seen this.
win.
Both have green eyes.
Finish
Both
it.
have.
Hello, man.
He's like, when he's doing it, when he's fighting him with the magic. He's like, and he makes
That-
noises like that.
That
It's
reminds me of that reminds me of Kung Pao.
Pao It's Kung Pao is too funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's blatantly funny. This is a
Yeah.
movie that's supposed to be kind of scary, it's kind of funny, but it's like they're taking it real serious. Like everybody in it's playing a serious part.
Cool.
What would you suggest at a Kama podcast, Chubbs?
Yeah, man.
What do you mean? Like what would I say?
You know, like, should we like sit around before training and kind of come in early and kind of talk about stuff, or after when we're all like been through some stuff recently and
Excuse me. Well, I think what you're going to come into after is people are like they're going to want to take showers and you know what I mean, go home and
Yeah.
clean off. You know what I mean? You're
right.
probably not
I
doing
want
that.
to as well,
Plus-
but I feel like your mind's
Just
more
because
You
sharp
have a
then. But
shower there.
no,
If you had a shower there and everyone could shower and then do it, I would say go ahead and do it.
what do
Or
I
if
need a
you
shower? Do I need like a just like a gangbang shower,
Oh, that's gross.
Well,
man.
I mean,
No,
I'm
man,
just-
You do not need that.
No.
or just
like a
one single
YMCA
shower and
shower.
everybody has to wait for it?
A YMCA shower.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Or you just have somebody's house with 2 full bathrooms and you can.
No, it's got to be right there. We want to do it like
Yeah,
right before training when all the people are there from that train.
If you don't have the showers, man, you're gonna have to do it before. Cause no one,
Yeah.
honestly, do you want to sit around after you're sweaty? And I know that I used to love getting out.
For like a half hour.
Getting out of the
I
gym
don't
and
know.
taking a shower, man. That was my shit. Like, oh yeah, wipe all this. Fucking
Yeah,
dude
I
funk
feel you. Yeah, it's
off
good.
of
Yeah,
it.
true.
Yeah. So
We could all leave and come back.
That wouldn't work.
that wouldn't work. You'd be away from the.
I
movie.
will not come back.
I don't know, man. You're in a pickle here. You know.
Well, it may not.
Maybe if it was.
It was
just
an idea.
Maybe
Yeah,
if it was
hey.
just a half hour, you might be good. You know, maybe if just for a half hour show where you chit chat really quick and then everybody gets to go.
Yeah, I mean everybody. Sometimes we're there. We're there at least 15 minutes after. Just everybody getting dressed. Or like a couple. I'll turn on.
Honestly,
People just
you
be.
know,
Promote wet
podcasts
wipes.
that are that short.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of
No. We don't. I don't have
Whole
stock in
bunch
that
of-
shit.
But you know, the people are usually good for about 15 minutes. Maybe it's something like that. 15 minutes, a half hour is a good time. You know what I mean, it's short. You don't have to spend an hour and a half watching it. You can get right to the good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, just
But if we did it
beforehand, it'd just be hard because you don't know how long you want to take it, and you don't want to cut
like
in
some right. Well, but we would just. I don't know. We'll just have maybe if we have a format like we're gonna get on. We're gonna. Yeah, you would be impressed, but after, it's just got pros and cons either way. I don't really want to because I have long days, and
Yeah.
after I'm ready to
Yeah.
get home, that's my problem with after as well.
Figure it out.
All right, man.
Maybe I should just put a big locker room shower. I don't care if you got to share it. If not, don't go in there if you don't want to share it when someone's in there.
Okay.
But that'd be easier.
Let's move into something totally different.
All right.
We've been talking about fighting and shit like that for a minute now, and I've been thinking about this since the last time we talked about it. And it's do you think humans are going to clean up the earth or destroy it? What do you think? What do you think?
Well, I think humans want to clean up. I believe there'll be two different. Like it's what it is
You
today,
think it'll
man.
be
There's two different
split
people.
between the first world and the second world?
What do you mean?
Like, you got third world countries, and then you have America. You got people starving in Africa, and you got fat people getting Social Security in America.
I don't think anything is going to happen until the people want it themselves, and they cannot be told to want it, and they cannot be like you can't push it onto the people either,
Sure.
because then it becomes a cliche.
I have a theory that goes like this. We're going to take it to the brink of... we're going to just embellish ourselves with all the luxuries, and we're going to pollute as long as we can until you can't. It's literally a life or death thing. Like, any more of this, and we are all going to die. Because humans are what? Every human is selfish.
But they're saying that now. Any more of this, and we're all gonna die.
And
so
they're
how
fucking
far are they
lying
gonna
to you.
push it?
I heard
Do you
a
think
quote
global
that-
climate change is really like happening at such a high rate that we're going to die in 50 years? No, that's a lie. That's a myth. That's just something that is widely accepted. Sure, we're changing the atmosphere a little bit, but it's not enough to
dude.
kill off the planet.
I was watching a documentary, and they're in somewhere in Europe, and they grow all the apple, like one out of every apple eaten in Europe, or 1 out of every 10 apples eaten in Europe grows from this farm. And what they do is, instead of, because where the farm's held, it always hails like ice down,
Yeah.
and that would ruin a farm harvest for apples, So therefore, they go up with planes, and they put sodium.
Yeah.
Something.
They seed the atmosphere.
Yeah, and even though it seems harmless where it's happening, and it's all natural ingredients thrown into the clouds, it's still unnatural climate change within the atmosphere of the Earth anyways. Like, it's just not natural. So therefore, it's going to affect anywhere else in the world. You know what I mean? So, and
that's going to take the moisture out of the air sooner, where it would be normally coming down rainfall over there. But if there was America, what you have is people want the government to make laws to enforce things like that. I don't think you need the government. What we have in America is lawyers. What you would do is say, by doing that, you're hurting me over here. You can't do that.
But this isn't, this is a world thing. This is so much bigger. This is a world.
You said they're just doing it in Europe, right?
No, that's just one example, is that their farm, their apple farm there is... They're changing the atmosphere there so that they can keep but that's how they keep their supply, that's how they keep their income, that's how they have their exports and imports.
Yeah, so, I mean, if people like those apples, they're going to... See, what will happen is, if that's too big of a problem, people should find out about it and just stop buying those apples.
Well, I mean, you want to eat pineapples, right?
Yeah, I guess. But
you want a banana.
But if I find out a company is doing something that I don't like I don't shop at Walmart. I haven't been to a Walmart for 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's because I don't believe in the way they treat. I don't like the way they do business. I don't like the way they treat their employees. But I don't want the U.S. government to put a law at Walmart making them pay people $15 an hour.
Now, would you go to Walmart if the entire top of the roof of Walmart was an entire garden, and that's how they supplied some of their fresh vegetables? Would you shop there then?
Basically, that's an interesting thing, but my main problem with Walmart is not where they get their supplies, it's how they treat their employees. So if they're still treating their employees like garbage, but they're growing their own vegetables, I still got a problem with them,
Yeah.
I don't like how it all comes back to the American people. Everyone still shops there, even though we know they get bulk of their items from China, just like every other big box store. You know what I mean? It's not like they're alone in this.
Yeah.
Kmart does the same thing. Everybody does the same thing. So I would rather pay more money at Central Center Hardware for something because it's more local, even though they probably get some of the same China material.
Yeah.
It's more local. There's somebody in my community that owns that business, so I'm at least helping if that family, if not the people that work for them. I don't mind going to the bike store on Water Street, paying a little bit more for an inner tube, and I usually pay them to put it on now.
I mean, that's supporting local business. You know?
But not a lot of people think like that. A lot of people think I'm going to go to Walmart and save $1.
I've been thinking like that lately. I've been doing a lot, like, for a while now.
So you're a small business owner now. That might have a little bit to do with it.
You know, saving for some people is a must. You know, you got to take that into account. Like, that's the reason why Walmart, like, submerged a lot of other companies because they could undercut them in a recession. You know what I mean?
Well, they could create a market that's just not hospitable for the. But I think people are realizing now that in the whole, that's not good for our country. So
No.
I think there's where they had like 90% of the people on their side. Now I think they have like 80%.
I'm totally down with, like, you know, fresh grown fruit or.
I
like,
love the
food
farmers
or
market.
whatever,
I
you
would
know.
much rather go spend my money. I do it every season.
And
with
it's
the
better
farmers
for you
market.
too.
Yeah.
You know, it's better food, more fresh, more healthy. Like some of the some apples that come through, or like any kind of food that just comes through with Walmart, and like I'm not trying to like just dog on Walmart.
I will.
Well, I don't either.
It's not
because
Walmart. It's not Walmart itself though. It's all these
Exactly.
high chain places.
Exactly.
You know? and
Kmart and Walmart, what's the difference? The only difference is Walmart's bigger so they can get things a tiny bit cheaper, but Kmart's still selling all the Chinese materials. They're still selling cheap goods whenever they can. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Interrupted your
You're good.
thought.
People, I was just gonna say, people say the same thing about McDonald's and Chipotle, but they're both owned by McDonald's at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you what,
Chipotle is
would-
not healthy either.
Chipotle would still be in Colorado with 3 stores if it wasn't for McDonald's. Guarantee you that.
Yeah, sure.
McDonald's bought them, and then 3 years later, there's like 250 Chipotles.
And they bought themselves back.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, thanks.
But I'm sure they're still together in some sort of manner.
No, man, I think Walmart. I've seen a documentary on it. They're like, we're focusing on Chipotle, and they're like losing money on McDonald's, and then they're like, that's when they started doing the fresh salads, the smoothies, and they're like, they're reinvested 100% back into McDonald's and making that chain successful, and that's what they did. They got totally out of the Chipotle game. They don't have anything to do with it anymore.
Dang.
So it is kind of like a win-win for Chipotle because it's like, okay, we got, probably close to 500 stores now, and they retained all their ownership back. That don't happen that often.
Yeah. Who else did that? Someone else
Why
did.
do you think Chipotle's not healthy?
It's a fast food chain.
What if I go in and get
Is Subway healthy?
I've worked at
the
Chipotle.
bread? There's a lot of bread.
I've worked at Chipotle, and I like how they make their food there. I've worked at a few different places that are food places, and they prep their food daily.
How they get their rice?
They make it right before
Well,
everybody comes in. How do they get it? It's in a bag.
Is
It's
it
like-
organic?
Like they have brown rice now.
I know. I like that.
Now,
A
but-
lot of their
Someone
food there is like humble food. You know, what I mean, like they're all about the, non-caged
The
animal.
chickens, yeah.
You know,
Tell
and
me
they're
this.
against hormones, and there are good foods, but it is a commercial place. So
Am I
therefore-
wrong? Because someone told me that their brown white rice was just white rice with soy sauce.
I couldn't tell you. That came after I ever worked there. So
And so I was like, no, it ain't. And then I kind of looked at it. It kind of does look like brown rice with soy sauce, but that doesn't make sense. 'cause
That's
soy
probably why
sauce
they
is an
said it.
Asian thing. So now I'm,
you would
but
taste the soy sauce,
That's
man.
what I
Not
would
much
think,
soy.
man.
That's tart. You know.
So what I get, like right now, since I'm watching what I'm eating, I would go there. I'd get light rice, heavy on the beans, both kinds of beans, all the vegetables, no sour cream, no guac. No
Yeah, you need the guac. Why not?
Guac's good. All those avocados, man.
Yeah, I
There's a
know.
lot of.
And if you
salt
get
in
a
guac.
Well, I was
if you
about
get
to
no
say,
meat,
they don't add any type of oil to their guac or anything.
Yeah, you would
Most
know
people-
that.
Most
I
people,
can't really go through this. I might get like sued if I
Okay.
did.
Most people add oil.
Right,
to
because it's
guacamole.
not healthy.
So I do like avocados. This is how I eat my avocados. I cut one in half. I slice it in slices. I fry up 2 eggs, and I put either fresh tomatoes and salt, or I put salsa if I don't have fresh tomatoes.
If
it's good, man.
Yeah.
It's great for breakfast.
If you don't get meat at Chipotle, the guac's free, or it's like the meat. Like they don't charge you more.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. If you get a veggie bowl, guac's not extra.
Are you sure?
Absolutely
Yeah,
sure.
that does make sense though.
Man, yeah, but you're paying less for a veggie bowl.
No, it's the same as chicken.
Are you
I think
sure?
It's the same as a.
it's
I
like
thought
chicken.
It was cheapest is like carnitas or something.
Something like that, but it's but that's why you get the guac free, so it evens it out. I guess.
I have
Somehow.
read this thing about the Chipotle hack. Since you've got inside experience.
That's why he doesn't get guac. By the way, it was because he thought it cost more. It
Yeah,
wasn't
guac
because
does.
It does.
It
It
wasn't-
costs like $1.75.
that shit's healthy.
Exactly. I got guac once, and
And
it
it's
was like
still cut.
my total went up to like over $10. I was like, "Whoa, man, what's going on
I
here?"
got like a
Whoa.
double steak guac, man.
I was
know
like,
how
"Could you?"
that
I
feels.
opened it. Could you put some more in there? Nah,
or
I
could you
wouldn't do
just
that.
scrape that shit off and not charge me for it?
But
What's this hack?
okay, so the Chipotle hack. You go in, you get burrito bowl with your tortilla on the side, and that's free. You get split meat, right? So
Yeah.
you get 2 meats, but they, instead of giving you however many spoonfuls, they usually give you a little bit more of each one because it's split.
It's harder to tell, yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, for sure.
Because they have to
Oh, that's
split
always
us.
work.
Always get your guac on the side.
If you can do that in any place, that works in any place.
Well,
That's just not Chipotle.
This dude broke it down, and he came
Always
out
get your
with this
guac
thing,
on the
and
side.
he was like,
Oh yeah, if
he
you
was
get your guac on the side, yeah, of course. Cause
It would be a bigger one
Oh,
too,
like-
right?
like if you go to if you like Casa salads, you like Casa salads. Get the avocado sauce on the
Listen,
side.
man, I got some.
yeah,
I
it's
love,
a big like
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
round
yeah.
I love
thing.
getting
Yeah.
avocado sauce on the side. That way, it doesn't make the like. If you're gonna eat it when you get home or something, you don't want it to be all squishy and
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But, man, we went to. I love Casa Del. I've always supported Casa Del. I got some bad customer service, man, and that shit just sticks with me.
That's the.
I'll
that's
tell
the-
you, I had bad service
Well,
yesterday.
they forgot my French fries, and they forgot my avocado sauce for my salad. And we got home, and I'm looking for it. I tried ranch.
Yeah.
It's not good, man. That salad is not.
You need that avocado.
That avocado
Yeah.
sauce is the best. And the lady was like,
That's
so
that's
they
an
only
exception.
forgot your French fries? I was like, yeah, and my avocado dressing. And she's like, well, we got you down for a free fry whenever you want to. She didn't say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The first thing out of her mouth should have been, I'm sorry that we forgot that. We fucked up your meal. I apologize.
That's what I like to hear when I
You know what I
call.
mean?
I'm
Always-
sorry we fucked up your meal.
An apologies
Then you know
are
they're
free.
cool.
Yeah.
But they're free. You can say I'm sorry free a million times, and
Yeah.
it's not costing you a thing,
See-
but some humbleness.
The thing with that I disagree with is not disagree with you at all. Like I understand exactly where you're coming from. Just the ideal of calling in or something like that is that, what is it called? Fast food karma. Me and my buddy would talk about that. And fast food karma is like if you were a dickhead in a drive-through or something,
Yeah.
or they're just having a bad day and they messed your thing up.
That's all she would have had to say. She'd have been like, "Man, we're so."
But if you're
good."
having a bad day,
Anything.
you don't want to explain yourself.
But an apology is a necessity when you mess something up. I've been in the restaurant industry for
That is
12
true.
years, and the
That's
first
a
thing
good
out of
sales
your mouth,
representative.
the first thing out of your mouth when you mess something up, especially that was legit. You know what I mean? That shit was legit.
Yeah.
I had a legitimate complaint. They forgot 2 items out of my thing, and I'm not a dick. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have. I don't want anything for free that I didn't pay for. But they were closed. So I would have went back and got it all that night, but they were closed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I couldn't. But apology is a necessity. That's the first thing that you should say. If I had a restaurant and my people messed something up, I'd be stumbling all over top of myself to apologize and trying to do something to where they have a good take. That's why I like the Olive Garden.
But mistakes happen.
Oh, I'm 100%. I understand that, and I know when people take it too far. I've been in the, like I say, 12 years. I've been in the restaurant, and people take it too far at the Olive Garden all the time.
Yeah.
But they will bend over backwards to make something right at the Olive Garden. I shit you not, dude. They'll pay for your meal, and they'll send you a gift card to your house for $50.
Well, that's good company policy.
That is excellent, because you know what?
I'm not saying that Casa del Taco doesn't have good company policy. policy. They have Taco Tuesdays. I mean, what can I say?
And I just, I haven't been back. And it's funny that one little thing bothered me so bad.
Yeah.
And I was a good customer. I work right down the street. We eat there. Sarah loves Casa Del. We used to eat there a lot, at least once a week. So now they don't get.
I had a restaurant experience yesterday that wasn't too
Wasn't
pleasant.
Thumbs up, thumbs down for who?
Thumbs down.
And here's the thing: I always tip. I've had horrible service.
I
always
do
leave
too.
$1 or $2.
Yes.
Now, if you give me
$1
good
or
service,
$2. Now that's not a
Hey,
tip, asshole.
Give me good service, I ain't tipping shit.
Listen, bad service, $1 or $2 is a great tip. Most
All right.
people won't do that. But if you can keep me water without ice in it on my table, you'll get $10 every time. And if the bill is a lot more, you'll get more than that. But that's a $10 tip just for keeping water without ice in it.
So I went to over on Bridge Street, the barbecue place.
7 Mile Smokehouse.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
don't know
know.
if I want to
Oh,
say.
I've
I
heard
didn't.
good-
I didn't know if I want to say names. I'm not trying to slander,
This
but
is your personal experience.
this is an
though.
experience. So
Yeah.
Marlena's sister's in town from Seattle. She's like, "What's good around here? Like, what do they know? Like, what's
She
good?"
went to Old Canal.
And I was like, "Well, I know, but
I've had a great experience.
I've been there before too." But anyhow, I started thinking, and I was like, well, if you want to get fat, like she was thinking like some kind of healthy food, but like we're known for like greasy fried foods in this area,
It's
really,
Midwest. It's Midwest
yeah.
food,
and I realized like, oh my god, we don't. But so she wanted to try barbecue, so we're gonna try that place. So we go in there. There's 4 of us, and we have the little baby. He's like 18 months, and we're hungry. I was starving. Sit down. Marlena has to be at work in 45 minutes. It's 6:15.
Oh, man.
Did you tell him that?
No, I mean 45 minutes, dude.
It's not a
Fuck.
long time, man.
It's,
For a dine-in, it's kind of short. Most people spend like 2 or 3 hours in a dine-in. Like most servers get pissed off that people spend
An
like,
hour and a half is what.
That's
look at dude. That's not the fucking
I'm not-
Olive
I'm not-
Garden
I'm not
for
saying-
sure.
No, go ahead. Continue,
It's not the
continue.
Olive Garden. They don't even sell beer there. I'm not hanging out there for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry.
Our average check time for a party of 4 is over an hour.
So I'm not. That's a place I can't go to for lunch.
Oh no.
No,
Go
what
ahead.
you
Go ahead.
do-
Think
go
about this. I
Go
can't.
ahead, go
Okay,
ahead.
What you
after
do
this
is-
experience, I can't do this.
When you go
Go
in
ahead.
for lunch, you say, "Hey, I'm on lunch," and they'll give you a pronto.
It's
card.
lunchtime. Who the fuck's not in there for lunch?
You would be surprised. Some people-
Everybody's there for lunch.
A lot of people.
Hard
do
line.
come.
Okay, anyhow,
I've
shut
had
up.
people
Shut
come in
up.
at
Shut up.
12 o'clock and stay till we close.
5 o'clock.
I mean, it's not.
Then you
it's
sell
not-
beer.
It's all right.
true.
All right, let's. All right.
5
man.
o'clock. It was around that time, and they were like half full in there. We got right to a seat though. We all got water, 1 tea. Anyhow, it was close to an hour. It was like 50 minutes. We sat there. They didn't. The kid's getting. He's 18 months old.
And your server actually introduced herself to you when she got
I
the
don't
water?
know who was our server because we had like at least three different people, maybe 4 to
Yeah.
come to our table, and it was just like,
It's an odd time too. That's shift change time between 4 and 5. Man, you got old going out, and new coming in.
But
You don't know that, though. I
What
get
really irritated you about all this?
okay, well, we waited for 50 minutes to get food. The kids freaking out, like we had ordered macaroni and cheese on the menu, like that was gonna be for him, or like there was something they could have offered to bring out. I think,
Yeah, that's
like,
bad management. At Olive Garden, if you see a kid, you say, "Can I get some grapes out here for you? Right? Can I get something out here?"
and he starts screaming, he's screaming, and he's starting to act up because of that, and like, but they didn't, try to offer anything. So she took him outside, and had to like hold him outside for a little bit, try to like occupy him.
Yeah.
They came and said that our food should be like 4 minutes, which it was a lot longer after that. But she was like, I'm back there giving him the eye. And I'm thinking like, okay, you're giving the fucking cook the eye. Why? What? Give me some sort of an explanation and an apology. Well, she might have said, I'm sorry, it'll be like 4 more minutes. But it wasn't a sincere apology. I never got a sincere apology for it being so long. They knew it was taking a long time.
Yeah.
And if they dumped somebody's burger, tell us. Bring out the rest. I don't know
Bring
what
out the
happened.
rest.
Like, give me some sort of an explanation besides you gave the cook the eye, like to hurry our shit up or
I'm a
something.
very uncouth person, so if my food's ready, bring it out. Don't wait for, because then my shit's gonna be cold.
Here's
while
what
the
happened,
other
yeah.
person at my table's got some super fresh stuff.
My shit was
But
not
I
so
want
warm.
food. That's fine. If someone else gets their food before me, I'm fine with that. You got it fresh. I'm gonna get mine fresh.
Right.
But that's not tradition. That's not traditionally how people do it.
My food was not so warm. My sandwich, the bun was soggy, like it had been. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was just like it had sat there,
Yeah.
waiting for whatever we were
That's
waiting
what
for.
happened. I bet they dumped
Un-
one of them or
and-
ran out of something.
But
and
if
had to-
that's the case, just tell us.
Tell
Bring us out. So, we were there for
Yeah.
over an hour. Marlena had to call into work and ask if she could be late because it was past that time. I thought that place. I would compare that place to. I swear I could eat quicker at the old canal
Yeah.
than that.
Have you,
I
have
swear
you
to
eaten there
God.
before?
Hold
I
on,
ate
we
there
gotta do a
before,
mic
and I
check
don't
here.
remember it being
Is
that bad. And
good?
it was
Yeah.
midday.
Sounding better? Someone said they couldn't hear me, which is hard to believe because I'm damn near yelling.
Oh, you weren't on. You haven't been on forever, I guess.
Aw, man.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're
Ah, man. Thank God someone is giving us some
Thank you.
feedback. Appreciate that.
Why'd you wait so damn long though? Jeez.
They must have just came. We just popped
Oh,
up to
yeah.
4, so someone else must have came on.
But anyhow, I did okay. So then I paid for the check. I went up. They didn't give me any sort of apology or never got an explanation or
Yeah.
any type of sincere apology that made me feel like, so that made me feel like that's expected to be in there, to expect it to be 50 minutes when you're going in there and hungry and like thinking you could get to work in an hour. Or
I will
something
give
like-
you. I would just give you some future advice to make your experiences better at restaurants. Don't be afraid to tell them, hey, specifically, I need to find out who my server is and
Okay.
say, hey, I'm in a hurry.
We weren't in a hurry.
You had 45
No, okay,
minutes.
wait,
man.
okay, no, we could have stayed.
Need-
She
yeah.
thought she might have to. Somebody might have to take her over to work. That's what we thought. But we didn't even get our food. You know what I mean? We didn't let alone have time to eat. We didn't expect to be eaten done by that time. But we didn't even get our food for that.
Well,
long,
what
is
I
it
would
sucked.
suggest is never. If you want the meal to go a certain way, speak up. You know what I mean? If I have a problem, at a
I just
restaurant, I'm gonna
expected to
speak-
get timely service, or
Well,
if it's
listen,
not to have an
hey.
explanation of what,
Timely
they
service
had to
to
go
you
put
is
some
not
more.
the same as time. It's not McDonald's. You know what I mean? They're not
No,
just.
it's not McDonald's, dude. It's not like it's a classy restaurant for 50 minutes to wait for your food. It's not. I'm sorry, it's good, but it's not soggy. It's not good. But the barbecue, the pork and the barbecue sauce is pretty good. But like, it was just I had a bad.
Well, the
experience
next
this
time you go into any restaurant and you're on any kind of, even if it's an hour deadline,
I
let the
shouldn't have-
person know.
What if I'm the fucking critic and shouldn't go in there and say shit?
Well, if you're a critic, you're not on any time frame. You're just hanging out and.
And
eating the
I
food.
observed a not so good time. I wasn't on a time frame. I was
undercover
fucking
critic.
starving.
Tell them that. That's your time. Like, man, I'm super hungry.
Well,
And
apparently
tell them-
everybody there is because we're all there to eat.
Was it
And
a packed place? Was it a packed place?
it was
The
like
center's
no.
only half
We
full.
got right to a table,
Okay.
and it was like half full. They had 4 people that.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. What's quick? What? Don't. What?
It's
this is what-
sandwiches as well. It's pork sandwiches. It's probably
see,
already
that-
made
Yeah,
up.
you're right. That probably should have been out quicker. And
Like
also, don't be afraid to let them know. Hey, if anything is done, bring it out now.
Okay, I'm serious. Okay, this one really gets me because I could have made this all from scratch. 3 pork sandwiches, like the pulled pork
Yeah.
they use, and it has just
And
they
one
just
well
make 'em
done
up
steak.
different. And nope, and a chicken sandwich.
Well,
a
there-
chicken sandwich.
Was it a whole breast?
It was a sandwich. No, it was pulled chicken. So it was
Pulled
probably
chicken
already
is
made
probably
up.
already
Cup or
made
half
too, yeah.
cup.
And then with like onion rings, baked beans, fries, like coleslaw.
Here's one thing that
Mac and
people
cheese.
people
How
come into
is
a
that-
restaurant and don't understand. People don't understand that a well done steak takes time.
It wasn't okay.
I know, not in your experience,
I know
but
this.
some people are like, it's been 20 minutes. Where's our dude? You ordered a extra well done steak. It takes time to cook a steak to extra well done. If you would have got rare, it'd have been out 5 minutes ago. You'd been eating, slapping that thing with some A1, and it'd been down your throat by now.
Bloody
But
mess, you know. Right.
and also chicken. You know, you have to cook Chicken
doesn't take that long though.
It depends on if it's like a full breast
Depends
or
on
if
what kind
it's
you're making.
Well, if you
even fried chicken takes about
butterfly that shit.
12 to 16 minutes,
Yeah, but
and that's cooking boiling grease that's super hot.
dude. Here's what I don't get. Okay, if we didn't order any steaks, maybe there were people that order steaks there, but they can make my sandwiches while that steak's being cooked. Can they not? I don't know. If that were the case, it was 4 sandwiches of shit that they
know.
probably already had made up.
People are but they like I said earlier, they think it's uncouth to bring half the meal's food or half the table's food without the other half. I don't. I say as soon as your food's ready, get it while it's hot.
If something
you know what I mean?
happened to one of the orders,
They should've
definitely
just said
just
it.
say.
Bring it out and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, it's gonna be a minute." But when you have kids, they should have offered to bring out grapes, mashed potatoes,
he was
something
getting-
easy. Or
Water wasn't cutting it.
yeah. But we got off. I want to call a prediction right now. I'm calling a prediction. We were talking about whether we're going to pollute the earth and kill ourselves, or I think
Coming back.
Yeah,
we're coming
back
back. I think we're going to.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ADD podcast.
We're gonna get to a point where our technology is going to clean the earth for us because we're selfish. We like to have clean air. We like to have clean water. We're going to get to a point where those things are going to happen. Maybe for some, like you said, I can see that there's going to be still third world countries where people don't have anything. They're getting abused and used. But I don't think the earth is going to be totally polluted. And I bet 100 years from now, maybe 150 years, they're going to be mining our trash dumps for the resources that are in it. They're going to literally be digging in the
True.
earth to get back to it
Because they didn't take the time out right now to split it
recycle.
off. Yeah.
And people are going. There's going to
They
be
do that now.
millionaires.
They
There's
already,
gonna-
they already do
I've
that.
seen
With
some people.
tires.
Yeah.
With,
There's going to be people who are millionaires because they got the rights to these dumps. You know what I mean? They're going to be
True.
tearing down buildings because we built buildings over top and like, oh, I got to get to that
buy
trash.
some land and start dumping shit on it.
Yeah.
You think they'll figure out what to
Leave
do
it
with
to my
baby
family.
diapers?
See, now your plastics. Now I'm
I think
thinking
we're gonna
more-
find petrified baby diapers
Well,
in thousands
everybody
of years.
spends all this like money on chemicals and stuff for your lawn to be perfectly green and stuff. But if you was to take time and mulch up all your like food excess of like banana peels and orange peels and
have a
onions
compost.
and stuff, yeah, and have a compost and then spread it out on your yard.
Dude, how come
You
I
would-
thought about that?
Yeah.
Whenever I was in Florida and everybody's got sand in Florida, I'm like, man, why aren't these people composting
They
everything?
do. Oh, compost is a big thing in Florida. Like,
Okay, well, I
they
didn't
use a
see
lot of
anything in
mulch
this
and
neighborhood.
Compost to heat their pools at night. You
Oh,
know?
nice.
So, yeah, they just run copper and like tubing under it and let the sun heat it
As
all
it
day.
decompose, well, also when things
gets hot in
decompose,
there.
they produce heat. Hay
Yeah.
bales can catch on fire.
They
from
get
that.
up to like hundreds of degrees in there.
That's a good idea, and then you just run your copper pipes back and forth through it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's smart as shit, man.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like, that'd be awesome to heat your house up with that one day if you could.
That's
Like,
basic.
away.
Well, it's not geothermal, but
in
it's
the
a
winter
type
it
of-
freezes though, and it doesn't stay warm like that. I don't think it'd have to be a thick.
Well, what
pile.
if you just have a knob? You can cut it off in the winter. But I think it would heat in the winter if it was thick enough.
It would have to be a thick pile.
Yeah, it would. It would always stay hot inside.
If it have to be a big pile,
Like
is what I'm saying.
yeah,
to not freeze, it'd have to be over.
It'd have to be like a good 2 or 3.
Ground
truckloads.
freezes 3 feet.
Yeah, it'd have to be 2 or 3 truckloads. I don't know.
In
If
northern
it had
Florida-
winter,
It'd be big.
It wouldn't have made it probably.
In
Yeah, it'd have to
northern
be
Florida, you
truckloads
can
is what I'm
get
getting
you can
at.
get 3 feet in northern Florida underground if you needed to. So
Well, it would never get that cold in Florida. Probably it would probably be all right.
no, it gets chilly in the winter.
Well, I was also looking at this greenhouse effect, and it's how you can get your greenhouse to be 98 degrees in dead of winter. And what it is they take 2 greenhouses, and then they'll put
Leave a
air in
gap.
between them, and then that way there's like a cushion.
That's
of
the most
insulation.
efficient insulator
That's
is
the
air.
best
That's why
insulator.
everything insulated is foamy and like big and soft because that air
That's
is
why they
Anybody
put
decided
dead
to do that,
airspace
Yeah.
and things.
Find things
double
that
pane
grow.
windows. They have
Yeah.
the air in between
Yep.
them.
So
98 degrees year round, even in the dead of winter.
Do they have the air between them, or are they vacuumed out?
the ones I seen had fans.
Would the air in there make moisture?
Well, that can
Is
happen.
there a
that
vacuum
happens.
seal?
No, I don't think there is a vacuum seal. I think they do
They
get
have
moisture
vents.
in
They-
between them.
The one,
If they
the one
crack.
that I seen had vents.
I think he's talking
Had
about the
2 or 3.
greenhouse.
Yeah. It was
No, yeah, I was talking about a window.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that makes sense. Vent them out whenever you need to. I can see
we
that.
can get window vents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured out we'll just call the the podcast at the gym, the ADD podcast. If we do it after the gym, the All Damn Dirty podcast. We're all damn dirty after training.
Nah. I
Slay it.
I get where you're going, but I don't like it.
I just
For no
thought it was
other
funny
for no
as
other
ADD.
reason than I just want to slash this dream down.
Yeah.
You've got
It's
too much.
because
You got too much
creatively-
hope, man. You're on this new top of the mountain attitude that you got going on. Hardline. I'm gonna
I'm
chop
making
you down.
babies.
Yeah, you're making babies over there. I made a life. I'm somewhat God. I'm partly God.
Yes. Has anybody else witnessed God do this?
That's a weird question, man.
Nobody has.
Yeah.
They just said he did it.
But anyway, I'm calling it right now, and that's my ideal for the future, man. Our technology is going to clean us up, and we're going to be mining that trash that we were throwing away.
Well, then let's
Oh,
do
yeah.
it now. Let's come up with the idea to do it.
It's not it's not feasible now.
Why is that? Why is
It's not. You're not going to make any money off of it like you will in the future when these things are less abundant. You know what I mean?
What things?
The precious metals, even not precious metals, even junk metals, like
What?
well, not junk metals, aluminums, those type of metals that some people are recycling. I'd say very few people recycle though. Most people just throw that shit in the trash
What about all
can
this
and get
plastic though.
glass. I think is going to be getting recycled. Plastic. Now we got to find a way to get down to a molecular level. Whenever we start talking about single molecules, that's when we're going to handle the plastic. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to have little.
But why wait to the point to where
Well,
we
they're-
need the resource
Because
to
it's all
make
about
the effort to get it.
capitalism and money, man. Until you can make money
But
off of it,
honestly,
it's
if you're
not
a
going to be
smart
a success.
capitalist, you'd do it right now because you'd save so
You
much
could
more
get a
money
jump on it.
right now. Yeah, and you wouldn't have to spend because people are going to be wanting things for that, so the demand for that supply will be uplifted.
People would
Or
just
the-
steal your technology, though. If you get a jump on it and it turns big, people would just steal it. China would steal it. You know,
Quit
these other
slouching.
countries-
Sit
This
up
is-
straight in your chair.
Sorry, sorry.
Take that shit.
Or turn your camera
I
more.
think it's all about money right now. Until it's a
There
valuable
you go.
commodity, it's not going to happen. Until it's life or death, it's not going to happen. But I think there will eventually just be drones scouring the sky
Yeah.
and the seas, and they're going to be cleaning up. It's going to be cleaning the plastic out of the seas. It's going to be scrubbing the carbon out of the atmosphere, and that's
Why
what
not do that now?
it's not, because every day I can go outside and I can breathe and I'm fine. You know, I mean, I live right next to the mead and I'm doing all right. I don't have.
Who sued the mead, by the way?
They tried to sue him again for the stink. I think it was just a group of people probably down. They can't do it.
Yeah.
That mead is so important to this town that
this on. Do
Yeah.
Do you see me looking?
Yeah, I see you going.
Does it work? Does it look like I'm looking at Chubbs up here?
if the mead shuts down, this town is dead, man.
I didn't even
We don't
think
have
about
that
Now, I
tax
was
money.
watching you over here. I was like, what is he doing? But yeah, what is it?
If the mead shuts down and we don't have that tax money, this city's dead. It'll be one big slum.
I've thought about that too. There's
Everyone
a
is
lot
going to
of
move
jobs.
away very rapidly. The schools will go to crap. Because then your biggest one would be what? Adena would be your biggest employer, and then Kenworth is probably somewhere close behind that. But most
Dina
people,
is the biggest employer right now.
I think, yeah.
You know,
Well, they might
Dina
be,
has should.
have more than Glatfelder. They employ a lot, man. They might be.
Yeah,
they
I
might
don't
have
know.
taken over, but as far as tax revenue, I think Glatfelder still has that. So the first time they got sued, though, it was because they wasn't scrubbing the toxins coming out of the smokestacks right. So it was like raining, getting in the rain, and then
Yep.
would fall in a car, and all of a sudden, all these little
spots would happen,
rust spots,
kinda like-
and they just did a
yeah.
one-time settlement. You can never sue them again for that,
Yeah.
and that's what happened. And of course, most people are like, "Sweet, let me have that $4,500, and I'm not painting this car at all. I'll never paint this car. I'm just going to take that $4,500 and run with it." But then part of that was you remember when they redid the stacks and put all the scrubbers in it and brought
That
it up
was
to
a while
code.
ago, though.
It was a while ago. They
Yeah.
brought it up to code, basically, is
Yeah.
what they did.
Heck yeah. But
I mean, it's
that's
a
good
tough
thing.
call, man.
I think they need to find a new way around it.
You know what? A good
Press
way.
paper. There should be a different way.
Yeah,
to
you
get
know
to
what
it.
it is? What
Hemp.
is it?
Steam.
Hemp.
It's him.
Oh,
Hemp
wow,
is
yeah.
the neck.
I said, yeah.
The
You know you can build a house out
They
of
would
that.
still have to
Dude,
process
you
it
can
though.
build anything out of hemp. Yeah, they still. This is the thing though. Hemp could be Ohio. If we jump on the bandwagon, Kentucky's already there. It could be a new boom for us. It's going to keep the farmers working, and they're going to have to process it into the different things. They're going to have to make the oils. They're going to have to make either harvest the seeds, and so people can eat the seeds.
Yeah.
We're going to feed the seeds to cows and chickens. Corn will be like.
Well, people would start eating seeds too. They're good with omega-3s.
And you can press them down to a
I
bar.
eat them every day.
I know you sprinkle them on salads, right?
Oatmeal, yeah.
But
I eat
I've seen them.
eggs.
They press them down
cereal.
into a bar, so you have like a hemp seed bar. It's endless. Textiles are going to be big again. We don't make any textiles here. All the textiles are made in China. It's so cheap. I could go on. The blocks. You've seen the cinder.
Drywall.
They make cinder blocks out of them. Drywall.
Concrete.
I've not seen
They got
that one.
concrete
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I've never seen the
I've seen
concrete,
that.
but I guess the cinder blocks are probably made out of similar substance.
I wonder if that's more like earth made with like clay and
It's
I
ridiculous.
have no idea, but it is ridiculous. And what's
It is
ridiculous is that it's illegal
It's illegal because
because of politics.
it's because it looks like a plant that's not.
The only reason why it's illegal is it goes back to
To
it goes back to when they had
William Randolph Hearst.
well, whenever the big timber companies were spreading money, putting money into the bribing or however they want to call it, it's legal bribing. You're allowed to do it. You
Yeah.
can give money to a political candidate.
Well, yeah, that's how you support them, right?
Yeah, but I know this. Our founding fathers grew it as a cash crop, and it was one of the best cash crops. Every war we've ever been in, except for the present Iraq war and the war in Afghanistan, they would go to farmers and say, "You are growing hemp now. This is what you used to grow corn. You used to grow wheat. Now you're growing hemp. We need the ropes." It makes the best ropes on the planet Earth out of natural fibers.
Mhm.
Clothes. It makes textiles that last 7 times longer.
Oh yeah.
It produces just as much oxygen as it will pollute the air whenever they refine it into something to run a vehicle.
If you build a house out of it, it's way more flexible than standard housing development. Like,
So big storms and
Yep.
things like that, it would hold up better. Earthquakes,
Oh,
probably.
floodings also.
I wish
It's
I was
also
talking.
lighter. It's also way lighter. and
yeah.
more air travels through the wall.
Dude,
So-
those cinder blocks,
but it's still insulated, which is
those more cinder blocks those cinder blocks that they were making were like, they were my wingspan. Dude was just like, boop, boop. It was light. It was.
they're strong.
They're strong, like crushing force. They were stronger than like regular concrete cinder blocks. Like they could withstand more pressure on top of them.
Damn.
I'm not sure how, like, as far as just like straight up trying to ram something through them, but I'm sure they had to be almost equally as strong that way. Probably not as much, but.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Um,
I didn't.
And I wish I was talking out of my ass on this because it would make more sense if I was and all these things were lies, but the science is there, the technology is there, they've already done the research.
Well, I'll tell you about some lies, Chubbs. William Randolph Hearst, who was a newspaper mogul, he owned several newspapers
Mm-hmm.
and paper manufacturing companies.
Mm-hmm.
Made up these stories in the newspapers about how bad marijuana was to
Oh,
get
like
hemp
reefer madness
illegalized
type
for,
stuff.
yeah, for prohibition, so that they would continue to use cotton or paper instead of hemp. Like,
I know that's why in Nevada, like it used to be for a long time, I still think they have some of the strictest marijuana laws because you know what? People don't like to gamble as much whenever they get high because
it makes you think.
because it's a different attitude. Whenever you're drinking, you're less inhibited. You're like, let it all,
Exactly.
let it all ride. So
I was doing.
you could go to prison for life up until like I think the 80s for,
A joint.
yeah, what? Say what?
life, and there's people doing it now.
I remember a
Probably.
dude went to prison for 40 years back in the 90s because he had 2 joints on him.
Do you think that people in
Marlene is making fun of you, but go
yeah,
ahead.
I was because
I want to
was
say
thinking-
something funny about that in a
I was
second,
thinking,
Marlene.
I think, like I was looking up the William Randolph Hearst thing. Do you think that people in like Colorado and Washington or places where it's legalized recreationally now should be released from prison if they were put in on minor.
Oh,
As long as
but
it's
certain
non-violent,
charges.
as
That's
long
the
as they
difference.
didn't get caught with marijuana,
They
and
should
then
have never been in
shootout,
prison in the
that's
first
true.
place.
That's
Exactly.
true. But as long as they
Exactly.
didn't get caught with the marijuana and then have a shootout with
Here
the
you go.
police,
And they weren't
Let 'em
dealing
out.
like hundreds of pounds, probably. Maybe I don't know.
well, I just think it's so weird because that kid got caught down in Cincinnati. He had like 2 greenhouses set up, and he's like,
There's a problem.
He's
With, there's
18
a problem
years
with
old.
the whole thing. Anyways, is like that they can do that to you if you just get caught with like. It used to be like if you had like a joint or something when you could that happens to you, and the funny thing is when it's a once offender you're pretty much a repeat offender. If you go to prison, it's so hard not to.
The system traps you.
Yes.
well, that's the problem.
And
You're
getting trapped
taking
over such small offenses, and that's not even an offense. That's
you're
like,
taking non-violent
someone's life.
offenders, and you're putting
Chubbs,
them
let
in
the
with
fucking
violent-
guests talk
I'm
sometimes.
letting him
Go
work.
ahead, man. You
Okay.
go.
We're playing point counterpoint.
All right.
I'm agreeing with him. I
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
you take non-violent drug offenders, you put them in with violent people when they come out, and they're violent offenders now
Because
because
they
Yeah.
learn that the system's not right.
Exactly.
First off, so why like I don't. I guess I shouldn't have said that.
I was talking to Marlena the other day about that, like the innocent people getting trapped in the system. Like
Yeah.
you could be innocent and somehow got convicted of a crime innocently, and all of a sudden now you're in the system and like you got all this court dates and all these other ways you can break the law by not showing up to the court date and think maybe that's just scenarios.
Yeah.
But you can get caught up in that system if you got to do jail time. Then you're real caught up because then you're gonna have to deal with probation officers and like you're more caught up over something you never did.
Yeah.
I also think they're
There's
taking money out of America. Like, I know it's the law and they have a job to do. I understand all of that. But whenever I see, like, they bust somebody for growing weed in Ohio, they have this big party and they burn it and they celebrate it. But I would rather have that money not even spent on that. And I'd rather have them spend more money on the Canada and Mexican borders to keep that outside drugs out. Because now you're taking, I know it's illegal money. It's not two wrongs don't make it right. But you're taking money away from money that you're giving money to the Mexican cartel, the drug cartels, and you're giving money to the Canadians because they're sneaking it in and people are buying it instead of what they could have bought, which was from somebody
Yeah.
who is probably a farmer or some other. He may be a dirtbag. I don't know, but the money stays here. It doesn't get shipped down to Mexico or
I get
up
what
to
you're saying.
Canada. And I know two wrongs don't make it right, and it's the law right now, but it's just stupid to me to invest so much time and energy in that. But, that looks good in the paper. It seems that way they can say, like, oh, now we need this new truck so we need a helicopter so we can spot these plants. And we're spending $60,000-$80,000 to find
Like, yeah.
40 plants in some farmer's field that's not even hit. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, this is funny because
What's that?
Marlene is like, Hardline's making the duck face, and I noticed they were taking pictures at the thing. Yeah, at first you kind of eased into the good smile, but you're like awkward smiling and like.
It was forever.
I know that was kind of forever.
When you're just
But he's got like this awkward smile on his face. I'm like, oh no, soften it up. And then he finally calms it down a little bit. I wanted to say something.
Well, it
so
was like
bad.
everybody's wanting a picture. And it's like
Accepted right I was like, oh, you got to soften that up, man. This is nice, relaxing. That's all you need. You don't gotta.
I need smiling coaching from Chubbs.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man.
We're gonna have to get Karaoke back on here to get Aaron a nickname for
Yeah.
the Blue Wall.
That dude, man. You can't trust the
He was our
Canadians,
Canadian
man.
troll. Yeah.
Canadian troll.
Never
man.
trust a Canadian troll.
He's
probably fell in an
Canadian
ice
troll.
fishing hole
yeah. He's probably
Yeah,
French.
while playing hockey.
He's
Yeah, he's
French.
French
He's not
Canadian.
even the good.
Eh?
There's only one cool
Eh?
French, and that's New Orleans. Anybody who's French and not from New Orleans, you're not
Nolans?
cool. If you're from Quebec, like even GSP is like, arguably at one point was like the toughest 170 there was, and you can't talk to that dude. If you have to have a conversation with that dude, you're like, just quit, man. I mean, I know you could probably beat me up if you wanted to, but I just can't even talk to you right now.
just because
Chubbs.
his accent.
His
I
voice,
can understand him.
and they do hug and kiss a lot, man. His corner is they do a lot. I don't mind a hug, a pat, 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 separate, but they do some long embraces. I'm not saying anything, but they're.
Maybe that's why they live in Canada.
That's true, man. They probably grew up showing affection like that, but there's just a lot of kissing between dudes and like long embraces between dudes, and I'm just like, man, that would be weird to be in that
And
corner.
you're just
So
not into that.
I'm just, not
That's
that
not
there's
my corner.
not that there's anything wrong
Not
with
my
that. It would
corner.
just be awkward for me.
I don't sit there.
Yeah. That's what gives them strength. So I guess go ahead and do it. Hey man, it's after 10. What's going? Are we gonna wrap her up?
Oh my God, it's past Chubb's curfew.
You see my
Oh,
eyes are
man.
getting droopy over here. I'm starting to ramble.
What in the hell? All right, I guess that's it.
All right, guys.
Until next time.
Next Sunday.
This was episode number 66. We'll see you next
Oh, man,
Sunday,
I should've talked about
8:30.
rafting a little
We
bit.
love you all, blue wallers and blue ballers.
Peace.
Oh, I'm totally
Going
not.
rafting Monday and Tuesday.
I was
man.
totally not ready
this
for this.
Monday and Tuesday. Next Monday and Tuesday.
You go rap.
Yeah, that's awesome. My buddy who was on tonight.